conference gymnastics on ESPN. Tonight, the NIU Huskies travel down to Normal, Illinois, where they'll take on the Illinois State Redbirds. Welcome into Redbird Arena. Joey Dwyer with you, my broadcast partner Jordan Solka to my left. And Jordan, these are two teams who are coming into this matchup hungry. Who catches your eye for the NIU Huskies?
Yeah, of course. Both of these teams did phenomenal in their matchups last weekend. We'll get into that a little bit later, but someone catching my eye this weekend is Brooklyn Sears. I mean, she came off last weekend with her career best all around of a 39.125. I mean, 39.125, that's nothing to mess around with. You better be watching out for her this weekend. I wouldn't be surprised if she turns around and does it all again. Clearly can hit her routines, you know, good form, not afraid to attack. So look out for Brooklyn Sears for the NIU Huskies.
And Sears' coach, Sam Mariel, also has a little bit of hardware in his cabinet for sure.
Yeah, one notable hardware to look at, 2019 MAC champions. And of course, that's a nice piece of hardware sitting there. Yeah, that's nothing light. You know, a couple years ago, 2019, but they're hungry for that title. Once you win it, you're ready to go and get back after it. So he knows what he's doing, and look out for that as well.
And so looking at the home team, ISU returns one of their most successful gymnasts from the 2020 season in Angelica Labat.
Yeah, Angelica Labat, we know her, we love her. She came out last weekend with the MIC Performance of the Week. So, of course, you want to look out for her. She's very consistent, sticks all her routines. You know, it's someone you could really count on in the lineup. Clean form, you couldn't ask for anything more. Again, Brooklyn Sears, Angelica Labat, they're going to turn around and do it again. I would not even question it.
And ISU's coach, also somebody who's been around for a long time and has had a lot of success.
Yeah, and we can tell Bob, I mean, notable 2012 MIC championship there. So obviously he's been around for a long time, has even more notable hardware than that, but just shows you how many seasons he has under his belt, and like they're also ready to go.
And we are back at Redbird Arena. Joey Dwyer and Jordan Solka with you as we get set for this first of two meets this weekend between the Illinois State Redbirds and the NIU Huskies. There you see the rotation order of what we're going to be going in. Northern Illinois will start on the bars, and Illinois State will start with the vault. As both of these squads are getting warmed up. Jordan, is there anybody that we should be watching through this first rotation for either team who will give their team an edge?
Yes, absolutely. We got some killers on the vault coming up. I know we mentioned Angelica Labat like last time. She will anchor on the vault, or at least she did last weekend. So you know it's going to be a big vault if they're on the anchor at the very end there. Let's see. I would say Madison Kipp we should watch out for too as well. She's a very good, clean performance all the time. That was for the Illinois State Redbirds. And then for NIU Huskies on the bars, I would look out for Natalie Hamp. She anchored on bars last weekend and scored a big 9.925. So if she could turn around and do that again, that is almost near perfection, and that's a big score, especially for the bars.
And the bars is the only place we'll see Hamp competing for the Huskies, so certainly that is her specialty.
Of course.
As the horn sounds and we get set to go. Right now you see Liana Roman on bars for the Huskies.
Yeah, those touch warm-ups are always so crucial. You know, you get that feel for the apparatus. I know they did their warm-ups a little earlier, but that touch is huge. I mean, you know, you get the touch and you get a little confidence going and you're ready to go. And of course, it's strictly timed, so you don't get that big of a touch until you go live on that event.
So with these warm-ups and when you're getting prepared, what's the difference between this preparation and the preparation earlier in the pre-meet warm-ups?
Yeah, so earlier in your pre-meet warm-ups, it's way more relaxed. You know, you don't really bring out the big skills like you would in the full routine. And then in your touch, of course, that's when you're throwing your biggest tricks. That's when you're doing the full set, not necessarily the full routine, right? But maybe the areas you've been struggling with, or like you see on the bars, the huge releases like that. You're going to want to get those in. Of course, all your your runs and everything like that, the handstands you won't touch on as much because you're used to that, right? You know, you did that in your general warm-up, and then you get into it right beforehand and grab your bigger tricks.
And so now you see the full lineup for the Huskies on the bars. Liana Roman, Elena Anderson, Alyssa Alashari, Morgan Hooper, Brooklyn Spears, who we talked about earlier, and Natalie Hamp, who you brought up as well, Jordan. So very good in the back end of that bars lineup for sure for the Huskies.
Oh, yeah.
And now taking a look at the lineups on the vault. For Illinois State, Isabel Fox will lead them off. Charlize Doctor, Madison Kipp, Jayshell Hurd, Elena Laster, and Angelica Labat. And we talked about Madison Kipp and Angelica Labat. Another name, Jayshell Hurd, is another one of the veterans on this Illinois State squad who could really provide some good points here on the vault.
Yeah, we got some big skills coming up. I'm expecting some Yurchenko fulls, some clean Yurchenko lays, and those will be some great added value, especially to the lineup and then in their overall points for the team.
And so with just about a minute and 30 until we're done with the touch warm-ups and we get into the competition, what is going through your mind as you're getting set for your first event and you're getting set to start competing?
Yeah, so first event is huge, right? You set the tone for all the events to follow, and it's kind of like a lot of pressure on those leads. I know especially as an anchor you have a lot of pressure because you want to nail it and bring it home on the event, but the leads really in the lineups really set the tone for the confidence of the rest of the girls following the lineup, right? You want to start off hot and you want to continue it throughout all 4 events. Yeah, so that opening event, if you hit it right, you're going to be pumped, everyone's confident, and you're going to roll right into the next event with full confidence.
And it's important for the Redbirds to come out and set the tone early, because last time when these two squads met in 2020, it did not go, I'm sure, the way the Redbirds wanted, falling by almost 4 points.
Right.
So certainly they're looking to make a statement here early.
Yeah, they got some points to prove, that's for sure. And like, no one loves a 4-point difference, of course, but I think, a good point to mention here, both teams are writing off all-around highs for their team. I know NIU Huskies, they actually tied or did better than tied their school record for their team all-around. So they're coming off hot. And the ISU Redbirds, they also had a 195.22 score last weekend against Bowling Green State. So they both are at their peak, it seems like, and of course the ISU Redbirds have some points to prove against NIU Huskies.
And that 195.225 for ISU, again at Bowling Green last weekend, was their high of the season, and by a pretty significant margin. They posted a 194.5 at Ball State, but then before that they were sitting right around the 191, 192 range.
Yep.
So this is a team that's certainly gotten better as the season has progressed.
Yes, they are looking like they're at their peak. So hopefully, if all the girls hit and stay clean and then hit their routines, we should be seeing a very close matchup, and against two teams who are coming off of some very high scores last weekend. So they're all very confident and excited. So it should be a really good matchup.
And so the timer has run down. So we are ready for rotation number 1 here in Redbird Arena. And I mentioned that ISU fell to NIU the last time they met. And so taking a look at the score of that one, you can see that NIU was just completely dominant in all facets, and ISU was just not really having their best night.
Right, yeah, 4 points, that's a huge difference. So they definitely got some stuff to prove out here this weekend. So it'll be a good one to watch.
And now we're ready. Illinois State in the black, NIU in the red. And both of these squads are getting set to start off. Isabel Fox is lined up for the vault for ISU.
Okay, very nice Yurchenko half. A little bit of a step there. And of course, those steps bring up a couple deductions, but overall, pretty clean.
And while Illinois State continues on the vault, Liana Roman is getting set for the first bars routine that we'll see in this competition.
Nice handstand hit there, toe hand. Very nice release. Bail hand could be more of a crisper handstand, but still clean overall. Beautiful double A. Chest was a little down on that landing. Of course, you want to keep it up and not take those steps, but overall hit that routine.
So as Roman gets congratulations from her teammates, Charlize Doctor is next on vault for Illinois State. She certainly made her impact felt on this team.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Got some good air on that one. Of course, you got that step. Can't forget that. But a very clean Yurchenko half, and we love to see that.
And so we've seen the first couple gymnasts for ISU maybe struggle a little bit on sticking the landing. How do you go about fixing that and adjusting to make that a little bit more of a cleaner stick?
Yeah, sometimes you just have so much momentum going forward. It can help keeping your chest up, just so your chest isn't down. That really encourages you to take that step, right, and to like stop yourself. I really think it's just a power thing. They got a lot of power going on, which is good. You know, nerves lead to power, of course. So we'll see. I think we'll see some cleaner sticks coming up here, of course.
And maybe as we get along, maybe the nerves will calm down a little bit.
Yeah, totally.
For the Huskies on the bars right now, Elena Anderson.
Gorgeous toe hand. Very nice release combo. That was very clean too. Now for the second half of the routine. Oh, that was a great stick. Great clean dismount. And you know, it's rare you see those double inward dismounts, so it's fun to see a different dismount, and that overall was just a solid routine.
Madison Kipp, who we talked about before, on vault.
Amazing Yurchenko full. There it is with that stick we've been talking about. There it is. And you could see the team loved it.
And she certainly found the balance between power and accuracy.
Yeah. Very clean Yurchenko full there.
As she certainly stuck that. Now we go back to the bars. Alyssa Alashari.
Yeah, Alyssa Alashari is a freshman. I know she did very well on the beam. Of course, we're on bars at the moment, but as a freshman, she's coming out with a lot of power recently, so I would expect a very good, powerful routine here from Alyssa Alashari.
And it looks like the officials are finishing up scoring Anderson's. And now Alashari is free to take the bars.
Wow, the height on that release was very good, very textbook there. Followed into a bail to a very good handstand as well. Judges are always looking to hit those handstands. If you don't hit it to a complete 90, they do take off for that. Gorgeous double A, and there's that stick we're looking for again, right? Chest wasn't too far down, and it wasn't too back, so no steps there, and way to cap off a solid routine with a big, powerful release.
And there.
Gorgeous. Another Yurchenko full that just delivers right after the last one. Got that stick and very clean and powerful.
And so you see the scores coming in at the bottom right now. 29-2.
Look at that. Gorgeous height. Feet were a little separated, of course, but you can't take away from that height. I mean, it was gorgeous with the stick. It just all ties it together.
So through the first 3 vaults, ISU sitting at a 29.2, and obviously the bar scores will come in just a little bit slower.
Of course.
But we will update you on those as soon as we get them. But now on bars, Morgan Hooper for the Huskies.
Gorgeous. The height on that was just perfect. Of course, the bail did not hit handstand, but with a connection like that, that's pretty powerful stuff. Gorgeous, gorgeous dismount. I love seeing the dismounts get more complex as we go through these routines, and that was a great full in.
And now Alana Laster for Illinois State on the vault.
All right, a little powerful there, of course. You know, sometimes you just have too much momentum going forward. And again, she did a Yurchenko 1.5. So we've been seeing Yurchenko fulls, and we've been seeing Yurchenko halves.
And now we see the scores from the vault so far. As you can see, what you try to do is save the best for last, you know, and certainly Madison Kipp and Jay Shell Hurd had incredible performances.
Oh, of course. They were clean and they hit them, and that's all you can ask for going through the lineup. Of course, the skill difficulty typically increases as we get through these lineups, but you need everyone to be clean from top to bottom.
And now the NIU gymnast that we discussed before the meet, Brooklyn Sears.
Yes, Brooklyn Sears.
As we look at the bar scores so far.
She's coming off a 9.875 last weekend in that meet, so we'll see how this one goes.
Highest so far is Al Ashari with that 9.775.
Great release right there, followed by a good handstand. Onto the bail. Great full land. Ooh, that's little step, but still, the height on that was perfect. The rotation was quick, and not too big of a step either. So, of course, you minimize the steps when you can.
And now, finally on the vault, Angelica Labat. We'll see her in every event that Illinois State does tonight, and she certainly has had a lot of success in all of them.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Yurchenko 1.5. ISU's loving it. You know, you got that mini step, of course, but very clean 1.5.
And then on that 1.5, you can also see the difference in control between when Labatt did it and then Laster, who kind of had that stumble.
Yes, totally. Very controlled.
And so as we get set for the Huskies to finish out bars, we've got Natalie Hamp. Jordan, you gave her a little bit of a shout out earlier.
Yes, Natalie Hamp. She was Mid-American Conference Specialist of the Week on bars, actually. So I feel like we should expect to see a big one here coming up. She came off a career high of a 9.925 last weekend on the bars. Gorgeous release move right off the bat. Solid bail to connect. Gorgeous double layout, chest a little down on that landing and mini step, but you can't argue with the rest of that routine and what we saw. It was so clean, especially that release move was so high, and that's what they're really looking for on the releases. How much air can you get? It's a competition of air, right?
And also you spoke about those handstands and how those should be at a 90 degree, and it really seemed like Hamp was sticking those and making almost a show of it for the officials.
Oh, yeah.
And here we can see the final results for the Illinois State vault. Last year we saw her with that pretty big pop on her landing, and so that might have cost her just a little bit there. Labatt coming in with that 9.825.
Nice. Powerful. I mean, you could see the power on that jump behind. Of course, that'll be a couple tenths, but, you know, you'd rather be more powerful than not powerful at all, right? So that was pretty good, and, you know, got a lot of good distance off the table there.
Certainly is. Now we're getting into some of the exhibitions. So through the first rotation, what have you seen so far from both of these teams, NIU on the bars and then Illinois State on the vault?
Yeah, so of course, on vault they did have a couple steps here and there, and you know, you won't know if that'll really cost and hurt you until you get farther into like the beam and the bars where you could see some more mistakes, and in the end that might catch up to them, right? On the bars we saw some really clean routines. They have a high start value over there for some of their routines with those big releases. So of course I think ISU has their work cut out for them on the bars, and we'll have to see how NIU Huskies do with the vault. I mean, I know both teams have a lot of power behind them, so we could see a couple jump backs and steps on the vault just like Illinois State did. I wouldn't put it past them, but I think these teams are good, perfectly matched at the moment.
And certainly you were talking about Brooklyn Sears and Natalie Hamp for NIU going in on the bars. Did they live up to it? Did they impress the way that you thought they were going to?
Yes, I think they both had very powerful and clean routines. Of course, like those couple steps on the dismount, you could always clean up. But like I said, their start values are pretty high up there, so that can give or take them a couple tenths with that high start value.
As perhaps an injury on the vault for one of the ISU exhibitionists. We're just hoping that everyone is all right over there. As it looks like we finally have scores for all of the Huskies. And you see there, they are trailing by 2/10 to ISU after the first rotation. And Hamp had that, she had the very impressive score last week. Not quite as good. You noted the stumble on the dismount that might have cost her a couple. But overall, a pretty successful run on the bars for the Huskies.
Yeah, these are some good scores, especially for the bars. I mean, the bars, you have so much room for things to cost you, right? You got the dismount and all that, but it's looking good so far.
And as we are at the end of the first rotation, we'll take a quick break, let the gymnasts get set, and then when we come back, we'll flip-flop it, and we'll see a couple more. You're watching MIC Gymnastics on ESPN. Joey Dwyer and Jordan Solka joining you, and after the first rotation, Illinois with a 2/10 lead over the Huskies.
Yes, we love to see a good lead. Of course, you know, NIU started out on the bars, right? So they got a little room to make some improvement there, and of course the vault will help boost their score too.
And so looking at how ISU did in their last match, it was a big win over Bowling Green, and they certainly performed very, very well in all facets.
Yes, of course. Their all-around score against Bowling Green came out to be a 195.22, and that is their highest score we've seen from them. So, of course, it means everyone hitting their skills, no falls on the balance beam, you know, connecting those releases that they need to on the bars. It all comes together when you get that high score.
And you see the 48.975 on the vault for ISU. Historically, a school that's been very good at the vault, and they did it last weekend, and they did it here tonight as well.
Heck yeah. Yeah, they know exactly what they're doing on the vault. They all come in powerful and ready to go. And, the bars, I feel like sometimes they do tend to struggle on the bars, so it will be a challenge, especially calling back from NIU.
And so talking about NIU on the vault, let's take a look at what their lineup will be. As we've got Morgan Hooper, Sierra Ryan, Isabella Cece, Emelise Knock, Tara Kaufmel, and Gabby Welch. So a lot of names that we haven't seen so far.
Right.
And sometimes that's a good thing, when you can get gymnasts who are specialized in certain events, and it gives a little more depth to your team.
Yes, great point. I was going to bring that up. I mean, not all of these girls are all-around specialists, right? Some specifically come here to do vault, and they're ready to go. Trust me, when they get on their one event of the night, they're ready to tear it up. So I'm excited to see some new names on that list in the lineup versus the bar lineup. So we'll see what they have going on for them.
And so then checking out ISU's lineup for the bars, a couple new names that we didn't see in the vault as well for the Redbirds. As first it'll be Isabella DeCrue, followed by Elena Laster, Charlize Doctor, Madison Kipp, Sophia Irabaran, and Angelica Labat. And Irabaran is an athlete who has been a mainstay for ISU for her entire tenure here at Illinois State. And she is one of, at least personally, my favorite ISU gymnasts to watch.
Yeah, she's fun to watch out there, and you can tell it shows in her routines. You can just tell she's having a good time out there. She's confident, she knows what she's doing, and she's always a good performance to watch.
As we've gotten through warm-ups for this second rotation, we get set to start. I know I asked you this before the first rotation, but are there any athletes you're watching for in the second rotation who maybe we didn't see at first who are going to put on a great performance?
Yeah, let's see. I would say Charlize Doctor. I know we saw her in the vault, but she's one to look out for, especially on the bars. As well as NIU, I think those new names especially, we're going to see some great performances there.
There we just saw Hopper on the vault. And now we go to Isabella DeCrue on bars for Illinois State.
Beautiful handstand. Very nice bail again with that handstand. That's really what they look for right there on that release. Gorgeous oop, a little overextended. Hey, a little crooked on that pirouette, but that was a gorgeous save. It could have gone a lot worse, and she really, really saved it in the end with that stick and kept it under control.
And so as Isabella DeCrue gets some congratulations from her teammate, Sierra Ryan will head to the vault for the Huskies.
Tiara out over Illinois State side. Love to see that. Wow, that was a good opener for them. You could tell NIU's all excited, and that's not a vault you typically see, so we love seeing girls change it up here. And that was a nice stick, too. You could tell it was a perfect combo of momentum, kept it under control, good distance from the table on that push-off, and NIU is loving that. That's a great start for them to keep it through with the confidence on that rotation.
And so moving back from NIU to ISU once more, we go back to the bars where we'll see Elena Laster.
Got a good start so far for both teams on each event. NIU with that powerful first vault, and then ISU with that opener bar routine. I really think we're going to see a close matchup after this rotation.
And Laster competing on both the bars and the vault tonight. Her vault performance earlier earned her a 9.675, which I'm sure is not the score that she was hoping for, but now certainly a time for redemption.
Of course. Gorgeous bail. Even held that for a couple seconds. Coming up on a big release here. Gorgeous. Oh my gosh, look at that height over the bars. Followed up with this dismount. Very nice. Very nice clean routine. Chest was down a little bit on that dismount at the end there with that little hop, but wow, that release was a big one for them.
And so now
ooh. Chest a little down, which causes you always to move it forward on that landing there, but probably not the vault NIU was hoping for, but we'll see how the rest of the lineup carries it on. Sometimes you just can't get that rotation all the way around, and especially with a vault like that, not your typical Yurchenko, you always face a little bit of difficulty there. If you don't have the power going into it, you're going to face some trouble on that,
and that
landing.
That was NIU freshman Isabella Sissi. So as a freshman, I'm sure there are some added nerves being your first season of collegiate competition.
Yeah, definitely. Always room for improvement down the years, too.
Now Charlie's doctor for the Redbirds.
Nicely caught there. Solid bail. Now we just got the dismount. Oh wow, the height on that double lay was gorgeous. A little pike down coming on that second layout on there, but you know, saved the landing there, so no big hops or anything crazy like that. Overall, clean routine.
And there you see the first two scores on the bars for ISU, a 9.45 and 9.675.
Yeah, we'll see how the rest of these routines line up in terms of overall score.
Emily Knock for the Huskies.
Nice Yurchenko full. Not bad, a little bit of a leg separation / crossing going on towards the end of it, but overall the power coming off that table was really nice. You could just tell the height in that. A lot of good power there.
And there we have the scores for NIU as well. My sheet was a little mixed up, so I apologize if I got the order a little wrong. Olivia Lind with her 9.5, Sierra Ryan with the 9.725, and then Morgan Hooper with that 8.825.
Correct, yep.
So now back to the bars, Madison Kipp.
Yes, Madison Kipp should be a fun one to watch on the bars. Should expect to see a double lay on that ending there on the dismount. Fun release coming up. Nice height on that. Followed by a little overextended on that handstand, but definitely hit the handstand nonetheless. Gorgeous, that was exactly what they want to see with that holding on the handstand. Double layout, step behind, but overall, very solid routine.
And so a pretty successful night for Madison Kipp so far. A 9.85 on the vault and a very solid performance on the bars.
Yeah, those are the kind of routines you want in your lineup to secure that overall score.
So now,
layout full again, a little down with that chest, which causes you to land forward like that.
and so that one was Emily's knock. And again, the second time we've seen the Huskies struggle just a little bit on getting enough air on that vault.
Yeah, we're seeing some unrealistic characteristics of them on the vault today. I mean, coming off of last weekend, it seems like they hit all their vaults last weekend. Now we're seeing some issues with power off the table and then that landing, of course.
So now we see Ira Barron on the bars for ISU.
So Ira Barron did not compete in the bars last weekend, so this will be a fun routine. Awesome release. Gorgeous height, as we stated previously in all these other routines. Again, I mean, those handstands, it's really all about the height on those releases, your form hitting those handstands, and of course, that dismount landing. ISU's pretty fired up about that routine there, which of course they should be. It was very solid. A couple steps on that landing, but overall, exactly what they were running.
So as we see the scores for Illinois State, Gabby Welch is getting set to anchor the vault for NIU.
Gorgeous Yurchenko full right there. She's coming off a good weekend last weekend too. She scored a 9.8 last weekend on that vault, so we'll see how the judges liked it this weekend, but I see no issues with that. Of course, the jump hop back with that power again, but
so you
exploded off the table.
There you just saw the scores for NIU on the vault. A couple good ones and a couple ones that you'd like to see improve.
Yeah.
But certainly Welch finishing out strong for NIU.
Yeah, strong ending on that.
And now it'll be Labat for Illinois State, hoping to do the same.
Yeah, the anchors feel some pressure sometimes, just to really end that rotation on a good one, just like the openers. You want to start and finish in a very explosive fashion. Toe hand release. Oh, right into a bail. And that is a tricky combo, and that'll boost up your start value. So that was very well executed. Powerful dismount, full in, and very clean landing, no major steps. Got a lot of good height off that on the rotation, quick rotation too. Good ending for ISU on the bars, in my opinion.
So as we reach the second round of the second rotation, who were some athletes that stood out to you in this one? Because we saw some incredible performances, especially from the Redbirds on the bars.
Yeah, I would say that last routine, of course, was very powerful. In the very beginning, they had some really explosive talent. Overall, I mean, I think they did exactly what they wanted to do on the bars. Really just hit your skills, don't have any major falls on those landings, and, they executed. As you can tell by the scores, we got one in there that probably was unexpected and they were hoping to be a little bit higher, but that always happens. And Gabby Welch with that 9.75 to top it off.
And we mentioned it, Welch was anchoring that Huskies team. And she really ended it with authority because, like you said, they had a couple of runs that certainly were not where they wanted them to be or hoped that they would be coming into it. So how important is it for Welch to end on a positive as we go into rotations 3 and 4?
Super important. I know despite the couple mishaps you may have, it's just as important as starting off explosive, right? Because you're probably thinking about that energy as you move on to your next rotation. Of course, if you end it not so well, you're kind of bummed. It's like, I don't have that much energy to go to the next event. But even if you do have some mishaps and you end it on a strong note, you at least had that to hold on to and give you some confidence to move on.
And now looking at the scores for Illinois State on the bars, Ira Barron and Labat both putting up 9.875s to close it out. So an incredible last two performances on the bars for Illinois State, but just up and down. Nobody, I think the lowest score there was a 9.475. So nobody with a disappointing run.
Right. No one with a really disappointing run. Again, I think they came and did what they needed to do. And I think that's really going to keep them in the run here against NIU.
So we're 2 rotations down. We've got 2 more to go. Illinois State holding the lead, but NIU is not out of it. We'll be back. And welcome back to Redbird Arena after 2 rotations here between Illinois State and Northern Illinois. The Redbirds leading by a point and a 10th. Joey Dwyer and Jordan Solka with you here. And Jordan, certainly not the vault run that the Huskies had envisioned.
No, definitely not the run they envisioned. And when you do have falls like that, sometimes that leaves little to no room for errors back in there. But let's take a look at what we did witness.
And
gorgeous fall from ISU.
ISU had a couple great vaults in the first rotation. The Huskies with a couple of great routines on the bars as well.
Yeah, the Huskies dominated on the bars, in my opinion. Powerful vault there from the ISU Redbirds.
That was Jayshell Hurds. She had a 9.875, the best performance we saw on the vault out of both teams.
Again, these Huskies look so powerful and clean on the bars. I mean, they started off the bars with very high expectations, and they set the tone there for sure. Back on the bars for Illinois State. Clean, nice stick, of course, for ISU there. Look at them, they love it. That was a powerful first vault. That was a really cool vault to see start off as well.
And that one was one of their more successful.
Go back on the bars for ISU. Again, powerful dismounts. A lot of big height on those dismounts too. And then another good vault from the Huskies. I mean, you can't argue with those good vaults. When you get them, they're very fun to watch, and they definitely help out the overall score.
And so the lineups for the floor routine for the Huskies, we've got Morgan Hooper, Gabby Welch, Olivia Lind, Emily Snock, Elena Anderson, and Tara Kaufmel. And we've seen Hooper, Welch, Lind, and Knock already. And then looking at the beam for Illinois State, Isabel Fox, Charlie's Doctor, Elena Laster, Sophia Irabaran, Angelica Labat, and Madison Kipp. So all gymnasts that we've seen before, and then ISU really likes to do that, where they don't dip too far into their roster, is they like to have a lot of girls who are all-rounders and competing in everything, or at least in multiple events.
Yes, they like to mix it up, and that's always fun to see, right? I do want to note that ISU is coming off a very good beam run last weekend against Bowling Green State University, and NIU Huskies always seem to deliver on the floor exercise, so I think this is going to be a redemption round for both teams if they had any errors to clean up from the bars in the vault.
And now as we're getting set for the beam and the floor, we mentioned it, NIU down a point and a 10th, so their performances here on the floor have to be flawless.
Yes, we got to see some nice leap combos. Keep them clean. Keep your big passes very explosive, and stay in bounds. They can do it. I think they have it in them. I know they're hot. They're coming off last weekend still, and especially coming off that first rotation. If you don't do as well as you expected or intended to, you're always hungry. And I think following up from that rotation is good on the floor, because the floor is a really fun one for a lot of them and a good chance to keep a clean routine and make it fun.
And so now that you're halfway through, you're NIU going into this, what has to be the expectation for these next two events?
Yeah, they really it's tough, because after a couple falls, you have little to no room for error if you want to stay up there. Great triple series from Illinois State. That was gorgeous. Took up the whole length of the beam. Little to no wobble. Little shaky on that switch leap. That switch side, I should say. Especially on the beam, those balance checks tend to add up. You know you want to be rock solid on those, and sometimes they'll catch you on the end.
So this is Isabel Fox for the Redbirds.
Nice front full dismount. Very clean routine. Solid start for the Illinois State Redbirds. So now we have NIU Huskies on the floor. Good solid, powerful double back to open.
And so this is Morgan Hooper from NIU. Hooper is the one that had that bad fall on the vault, so she's really looking to make up some points.
Here we go in the second pass. Full and a half front layout, very powerful. Couple steps on that landing, but gorgeous height. You can tell she's having fun with this routine. Here we go for that last pass to finish up. Ending with a double pike, very strong ending right there. Chest was a little down on that double pike, but what a nice combo.
So certainly a chance at redemption there for Hooper, and we'll see when that score comes in. Next on the beam for ISU, Charlie Stockter.
Yes, NIU certainly got a good start on that floor exercise, so I'm excited to see the rest of their routines and how they ride off that energy there. Good start for Illinois State Redbirds on the beam too. Of course, that balance check was not the hugest thing ever. It's not the end of the world if you have a balance check here and there, but overall, solid start on the beam. I mean, it's a stuck routine. You want to start with a stuck routine and keep that energy going throughout the whole rest of the lineup. And we'll see if Charlie Stockter can follow up with that.
And it certainly seems that the beam really has the potential to be the make or break event for a lot of teams, because there's really not a whole lot of chance at recovery if you make a large enough mistake.
Yes, the beam is tricky like that. It'll get you in the long run, and there is a lot of room for error on the beam just because of all those, big tricks and balance checks and dismount landings and all that good stuff. So if you nail the beam, chances are it's pretty easy to pick up the energy on the rest of the events, but beam is a big factor in overall score.
So Charlie Stockter on the beam for Illinois State.
Solid flip lay there, slight balance check, but very solid series. Can't leave the switch side, a little balance check right there, but nothing major. Stayed on. Of course, we got those balance checks coming back, but got that front layout in. Now we just got the dismount coming up. Nice dismount to top that routine off.
So certainly there are a couple stumbles for Doctor, but ultimately a pretty successful routine.
Yeah. Yes, of course. Stuck the whole thing and got off and did what she had to do.
So now Gabby Welch on the floor for the Huskies.
Very nice double back opener. Love when the teams get into each individual routine and have their little sayings for their routine. It's a lot of fun to watch the teams get into that. Now we'll go to the second tumbling pass. Very unique combo. Nice. A little short on that landing, causing her to fall backwards a little bit, but nice wolf full there. Going into the last pass. Nice, another double pike closer, and that's very impressive, honestly. When you get to that last pass, it is very hard. You gotta have that stamina, okay? So closing with a double pike, that was very clean and very explosive. Very good routine.
And so two solid routines for NIU on the floor so far. Next up on the beam for Illinois State, Alana Laster. While we take a look at what looks like Welch's final pass here.
Yes, yeah, very nice.
Now Laster on the beam for ISU.
So let's see if this stick streak continues for ISU on the balance beam. Very nice front toss over. You don't see a lot of those, so that's always fun when we get to see those thrown into the routine here. Looks like we're going into a tumbling pass. Gorgeous flip lay, no balance checks there. She was confident and knew what she was doing on that one. Awesome routine there. That was solid overall, very rock solid, and especially once you hit all your dance series and your tumbling series, coming off with that stick feels amazing. So very nice for Illinois State.
And an incredible dismount as well for Laster, as she was able to completely stick that.
Look at that. Smooth rotation, solid stick.
And now on the floor we have Olivia Lind.
Gorgeous front full set to a layout for NIU Huskies on the floor. Stuck that one too. This is going to be a high energy routine here. I can feel it. About to go into second tumbling pass of this routine here shortly. NIU Huskies love their double pikes, and they do them well, man. Very nice. Good, clean routine there. Very fun to watch and powerful. I think the Huskies needed that one in that lineup, but it was a good third routine for them, for sure.
And you can see as the scores get updated, the Huskies ever so slightly closing that gap. And you talked about it, that's exactly what they need to do to get themselves back into this, going into the fourth rotation.
Yes, every routine right now is counting for them, and this is where they can get their redemption on that floor exercise.
And now Sophia Irabaran gets set to take her spot on the beam.
And as we look at our ISU scores, Isabel Fox with that 9.5 all the way up to Elena Laster on that 9.775. So they're inching up as we go down the lineup here, so that's very exciting to see.
And then you can also see how those couple stumbles cost Charlize Doctor as she came in at that 9.475.
Yep, those stumbles are tricky, I'm telling you. They'll come back around when you least want them to, that's for sure. But that's just how important it is to be so confident and secure in your beam routine. Every stumble and balance check, that'll count in the end.
So now Ira Barron getting set.
It's always a little nerve-wracking when you got some extra time in between judges battling out those scores. But yeah, we're waiting for her to get up there.
Yeah, certainly that'll throw you off your routine just a little bit.
Oh yeah, you could be sitting there for a while and then it's like, oh my God, I'm a little nervous. But
Ira Barron with a 9.875 on the bars, so she's certainly already proven herself tonight. But
yeah, she's coming off a great score on that bar routine, so let's see if the energy can continue through to the beam here.
And now it looks like we're finally set.
All right, looks like we're all set and ready to go on the beam for Illinois State Redbirds.
So after a little bit of delay, Ira Barron will finally get to take her spot.
There we go. Unique mount. We love to see that. That's always a fun one. Always a bit riskier to have mounts like that, but, you know, that'll catch your eye right off the bat, and that's always nice for the judges, too.
Certainly impressive if you can hit it cleanly.
Of course. Great aerial right there to open up. Looks like we're going to go into a back series, back handspring series. Flip lay, step backward, but, you know, overall not a huge balance check. Very controlled on that step back nonetheless. Switch side. In the beam, those switch leaps and turns are just as important as the tumbling routines, because if those throw you off, you really got to get everything in check.
Now Ira Barron set for her dismount.
4.5, little step back, but there it is. Not too bad of a routine. We stuck, so that's always a good thing there.
And next on the floor, Emily's knock for the Huskies.
Powerful full in, back out. We haven't seen that one yet for the NIU Huskies, so that is a strong start here. Nice traveling leap series there to get her in that other corner. That'll bring us to our second tumbling pass here soon. I mean, you can just tell by the music choice. She means business, and it's all power, baby. So I'm expecting a big tumbling pass on the second run. Nice. Lay out front to a 4.5. Awesome. Very powerful and explosive routine from the Huskies there. Trailing off that last routine, too.
And so Angelica Labat gets set to take the beam for ISU. And you talked about how we've seen a lot of personality in the last couple floor routines for the Huskies, and I think Emily's knock just knocked them all out of the park.
She did exactly what she came here to do, and good pun on that knock there.
Thank you. I was
so
proud
fitting.
of that one.
She did exactly that. It was very explosive and powerful. Some harder skill tumbling that we've seen so far, so definitely delivered for the Huskies.
And so here you see a couple of the beam scores for ISU. A little middle of the pack, I'm sure not quite as high as they want, but now Labatt will have an opportunity to improve on those.
Flip layout, step out, rock solid. No balance checks there. Good switch, leap to the switch side. Very controlled and smooth. Very nice 4.5 dismount. Yeah, that was a very solid routine. It was hard to tell if there were any nerves there, right? There were barely any balance checks, and it was just smooth all over. So.
And Labatt's certainly one of the most seasoned gymnasts on this ISU roster.
Yeah, and you can tell in that beam performance, she delivered.
Elena Anderson taking the floor for the Huskies.
Very nice double front full. I'm excited to see the rest of this routine because some girls are just more powerful front tumblers, and then you have your powerful back tumblers. So I'm expecting to see some more very cool front tumbling from her.
As Anderson showing a little personality as she's working towards her second tumbling run.
Heck yeah, that is the funnest part about the floor. You get to really show off some dance moves, and you get to have a lot of fun with it, and of course show off that personality. So here we go into the second tumbling pass. Very nice series there. Very strong, just as predicted.
And so
Awesome.
another successful run for the Huskies on the floor as they're gaining a little bit of momentum on the Redbirds.
Oh yeah, they're picking up speed on the floor.
As you see the first four almost identical. Lind just 0.025 below the next two, and then Knock with the 9.75. And certainly we expect Elena Anderson to be right up in that echelon as well.
Yes.
And now Madison Kipp closing out the beam for the Redbirds.
Triple series with the fall. You know, when your momentum is on the side with that chest down on the beam, it's very hard to save. She tried her best.
And so Kipp looking for a little bit of redemption after that fall.
Good start with that gorgeous leap series. Full and a half dismount. Clean routine, of course. You do have that fall, which is a bummer, but everything else was clean.
And so the last performance of the third rotation, Tara Kaufmel on the floor for the Huskies, who have been very successful in this third rotation.
Double pike opener, a lot of height on that one. Again, Huskies and their double pikes, they do them well and they do them often. That switch leap series was super high off the ground. half to front layout, very well controlled and very high up in the air, which is exactly what you want. You want to explode into that combination.
And Kaufmel extremely clean with it as well.
Here we go for the last pass of this routine. Double back to close. Very controlled landing and very smooth.
And so there, as we wrap up.
Yeah, great routine to wrap up for the Huskies, in my opinion.
And certainly as those last couple scores come in, it's going to get very close. And let's take a look at this close from Kaufmel one more time.
I mean, look at that height on that double back, especially when you end and land with that landing as well. No step backs, really. Good solid way to end that floor exercise for the team.
And so, as we get into some more exhibitions, before coming into this third rotation, you and I talked about how NIU was going to have to nail it on the floor, and from where we're sitting right in front of the floor, so we have a great view, and it looks like every single one of them nailed it.
Yeah, we got the best seats in the house right now, of course, but they nailed them. They did what they needed to do. They came in, no major mishaps, hit their skills, nonetheless hit their skills and did them big, which is exactly what you want in your tumbling. Showed a lot of personality out there, which is always fun to watch. Yeah, we'll see if they can answer the call on the beam. Of course, floor is a fun one. You don't often see as many mistakes on the floor exercise. It's really the beam that might be the final answer for NIU tonight. But they did great on that floor.
And the beam has been tricky for Illinois State. We saw some scores that maybe are a little lower than ISU is accustomed to. And a couple mishaps that if NIU's able to capitalize on the beam, might just give them the edge.
Yeah, that's really where we're going to see the telling point there in the overall scores between these two teams. If NIU goes in there and really hits and delivers, it could be a challenge for the ISU, the Redbirds, you know. They had a couple balance checks.
And so here are the floor routine scores, and there you can see just across the board, nothing lower than a 9.7. The last two performances we saw, both 9.85s. So just a phenomenal event for the Huskies, and they have to be happy with that. On the other side, Illinois State on the beam did not quite have the success that NIU did on the floor.
Right. Yeah, they were a little challenged on that beam. It's just like those balance checks really come and add up in the end, and then of course we had that one fall. So we'll have to see what NIU does on the beam. If they have a couple falls, you know, that could be the edge ISU needs. But it's really just going to come down to that for sure.
And looking at where we sit overall score-wise, we came into this with ISU having a 1 1/10 lead. Now that's been cut down to just 0.25.
Yeah.
So an incredible comeback for the Huskies in one event. They were able to make up almost an entire point.
Yeah, they needed that for sure, and I bet they're seeing that right now, and they're excited, and that hopefully will help them with momentum on the beam. You know, keep that lead, keep it up there, or keep the lead as minimal as possible, right?
So now if you're ISU, you came in to the second half of this competition having built yourself a pretty substantial lead and watched that crumble away after one event. What's the mindset got to be like going into the floor?
Yeah, especially with the floor, they really just got to keep their tricks controlled, I would say. Of course, they're going to have the power and the explosiveness, but you got to watch those edges. You know, if you step out of bounds, that's easily a 10th or 2 out. And right now, since they're so close, obviously we see a 10th or 2 could really make it for the competition. So, yeah, it really comes down to staying in lines, keeping clean, and controlling your skills.
So as the exhibitions continue here from Redbird Arena, and we get set for the fourth rotation. truly anything could happen. And honestly, that's when it gets exciting. It's very exciting to watch because now we'll have the Huskies on the beam, ISU on the floor. Neither team really knowing where they stand as far as the point totals.
Yeah, this is going to be a fist clencher, I guess you could say, a seat grabber maybe, because it really comes down to just those minimal mistake reductions, It's going to be a close one, I think. We're going to see that, and yeah, if ISU can just full out deliver on the floor, and likewise, if NIU can just stick and get those clean routines on the beam in, it's going to be a tight one. Very good routine on this exhibition.
Now what a great landing, and you can see the excitement.
Oh yeah, she was happy with that for sure.
And hopefully the smiles continue for both sides as we get set for the fourth rotation. Coming up next, you're watching MIC Gymnastics on ESPN. Byrd Arena, where we have some MIC Gymnastics going on between the Illinois State Redbirds and the NIU Huskies. Joey Dwyer and Jordan Solka with you. And Jordan, this is shaped up to be a incredible meet so far, and I'm so excited for the fourth and final rotation. Here we have the MIC Gymnastics standings. You see Illinois State 1-1 overall, only trailing Lindenwood. And so this would be a very big win for them if they can hold on to their .25 lead here in the fourth.
Yeah, they're definitely looking to take a W home on this one. They have the skills to do it. They have it. They're right there. If they just hold this lead, if not, show a little more power on the floor, they'll be set.
And taking a look at Illinois State's schedule coming up as well as NIU's. Illinois State, like we said, it's a dual meet. So they have the meet Sunday at Northern Illinois. So these two squads will become very familiar with one another over this weekend. And then they head in to the Invitational, followed by their meet at Lindenwood. We saw Lindenwood first in the MIC, and they have been a powerhouse in the conference for the past couple years. So that is an important meet for ISU as well. Yeah,
don't sleep on Lindenwood there. They are a powerful team.
And looking ahead for the Huskies as well, they've obviously got the dual meet against Illinois State, followed by the NIU quad meet, and then they face off against Ball State. Illinois State faced Ball State and your alma mater, Central Michigan.
Yeah,
go Chippewas.
Fire up Chips. Chips are hot too. They're a very powerful team as well.
And Illinois State came in third in that meet, so Ball State certainly with a good squad over there. And Northern Illinois will face off against them. And as we get set for this fourth and final rotation.
Looks like we got Mia Quigg starting off on the floor, and then leaving off with Jay Mack as a closer.
And Mia Quigg, one of those specialists that we talked about. Illinois State doesn't have very many of those, but when they do, they're going to put on quite the performance.
Yeah, you can expect a solid start from Mia Quigg. The specialists, like I said earlier, it's really their time to shine, and they're pumped to go in there, and you come in and that's your one event, you're gonna give it your all.
Jay Mack, also one of those specialists. She'll be the anchor for this Illinois State floor routine. And then we have some familiar names: Isabel Fox, Isabella DeCrue,
Madison Kipp too,
and Angelica Labatt. So a couple familiar Redbirds. And then on the beam, Brooklyn Sears, who we talked about before. She's had a mixed bag tonight, and she's really looking to have the beam be her moment. Kendall George, Tara Kaufmel, Emma Jacich, and I hope I said that right. It could be J-Sitch, but Bert Jacich, Ellery Werner, and Morgan Hooper.
Yeah, the Huskies got to be coming in the beam with a little added pressure here, knowing they're only a couple hundredths of a tenth, or even a couple tenths leading behind or trailing behind ISU. So coming with that extra pressure, ISU feeling the pressure too, right, as they want to keep the lead going on here in the fourth rotation.
And truly, it could go either way.
It could.
How close it is.
Yeah, it'll be close for sure.
And so we turn our attention to the beam, where Brooklyn Sears will get us started in this fourth and final rotation.
Right, and here we go into our first beam pass of this rotation. Nice, rock solid flip layout step out. That's all you could ask for, especially on that pass, right? Just that rock solid landing and show them you got confidence in your routine. Nice aerial, a little bit of an arm swing there, but here we go, and sometimes when you stuck 3/4 of your routine, you're almost like, can I just get off this beam? I just want to end it and end it well, right? So we'll see how this dismount goes. Gorgeous. Oh, exactly what NIU needed to start off with Brooklyn Sears.
Sears with a nearly perfect routine.
Yeah.
And Mia Quigg will have to answer here on the floor for Illinois State.
Round off double pike. You could tell she got that power with that step back on there. You can see ISU eating up that routine there. Here we go into the second pass of this routine. Round off full and a half to a front lay. I love that she's doing the round off tumbling passes. You don't see that often. You usually see a round off flip flop going back into something else, but some girls really get their power off just a round off, and that totally works just as fine.
Quigg getting support from her teammates as she gets set for this final pass.
There's Coach Megan in the corner, cheering her on. Again, the round-off pass. Hey, Mia Quigg's working the round-off passes, and it works for her.
And she certainly landed all of those incredibly well.
Yeah, good start for the Birds on the floor.
So going back to the beam, Kendall George for the Huskies. And here's that final pass from Quigg one more time.
Nice. Solid start, and you could tell she was confident in that with that hand flick. Onto the beam. Wow, another solid flip lay for the Huskies. Remember, the Huskies are looking for near perfection on this beam, so every strong pass like that just adds to their confidence. Little bit of a stumble on that front toss. Nice jump series combo right there. All right, now for the dismount. Very nice, full and a half. You love to see that stick, and NIU loves it too.
And perhaps maybe a little bit more of a simple routine from George there, but
Definitely.
I'm sure it doesn't matter that much when you stick every part of it.
Sometimes simple and clean is just what you need to mix in that rotation. Like, you'll have girls with the more intense, higher start value routines, but of course a simple, clean routine in there always never hurts.
And now Isabel Fox with the Kanye West drum fill behind her.
Very nice front tumbling pass there to open up. Love to see them add some very unique elements in their routine. It always spices it up.
And Fox certainly no stranger to making the floor routine her own.
And here we go in that second pass. Double pike. Not bad, very high and explosive, just a little down. Nonetheless, a solid pass. And she knew she loved what she did, and you can tell it was a good routine.
And so very limited mistakes from both squads here in the fourth rotation.
Yeah, so far they're keeping us on our toes as far as how this is going to end between the two teams, which is exactly what they wanted.
Kaufmel will go for the Huskies, but there you see Brooklyn Sears with 9.875 on her first beam, and so an incredible score to start off the Huskies in a rotation where they need high scores.
Yeah, she definitely came out and delivered. Definitely the momentum they need, and she came out and did that, so we'll see if the rest of them can trail that.
As Kaufmel's going to wait just a second before getting up there. Now Kaufmel set to go.
Those moments of waiting, I'm telling you, the nerves can build in those couple moments. Looking cool and confident so far. Gorgeous flip lay. The height on that layout step out was just so airy, and it looked, honestly, she made it look easy. Aerial with a little bit of a balance check there. Switch side, nicely executed and landed with confidence. No balance checks on that. Here we go for that dismount. 4.5 with the stick. Exactly what the Huskies are looking for, and she delivers like the last couple we've seen.
And so Kaufmel just continues the beam dominance for the Huskies. Now Isabella DeCruz coming onto the floor. There you see a couple nice scores for Illinois State. Isabel Fox with a 9.825.
Here we go for that first ISU pass. explosive double back with the step out of bounds, unfortunately, so that will be a 10-32.
And you mentioned the power, and DeCruz just came into that double back with so much momentum that it was extremely hard for her to stay within the boundary.
Yeah, sometimes, of course, power is a great thing, but when you got a little too much of it, that's when you get to step out of bounds and the fall backwards and all that. Second pass going in. Missed that series, it looked like, on that second pass. Unfortunate mistake. Hoping for a strong finish here on this third pass. All right, solid double pike on that last pass, though. All right, so a little bit of an uncharacteristic mistake on the floor. It looks like, I'm not sure what that second pass would have been, but it was pretty clear she missed a connecting series on that second pass, which might result in a big deduction.
Now Emma Burke-Jackson on the beam.
Again, we're looking for this rock-solid routine from NIU if they want to keep up the momentum. Little bit of a balance check there. Still on the beam after that flip play, though.
Nice recovery.
Yeah. Oh, very unique leap series combo there with the double switch leap on the same leg. That is not easy, by no means, but that fall is definitely not what ISU was looking for.
So
oh, sorry, NIU, my bad. NIU on the beam.
Might be just what ISU was looking for.
Yeah, that's true. Very unique routine all around. That dismount even has me very intrigued, as that we don't see that dismount very often, but.
And so here you see the Huskies on the beam. Kaufmel with a 9.7, George with a 9.55, and Sears with that incredible 9.875 earlier. So after a couple very nice early runs for both of these squads on the beam and floor respectively, a couple mistakes have evened out the playing field even more.
Yeah, I mean that floor routine we just saw with that pass mistake and then the fall on the beam, that really, like you just said, evens it out.
So now Angelica Labat will take the floor for the Redbirds, trying to maintain an edge. And Labat, so comfortable, always just looking like she's having a great time.
Oh yeah, she always puts on a performance. Wow, awesome, explosive front tumbling pass there. You can just assume that's the type of energy she's gonna bring to the next two passes coming up. Having fun out there. We love to see that when they incorporate their personality and have fun with all the in-between elements. Going into that third pass, Angelica's a great front tumbler.
And an incredible job by Labat to control that momentum.
Yeah, totally, because that could have easily been overpowering and stepping out of bounds, but she controlled that landing on that. Another front tumbling pass to close. Nice. Powerful routine by her there.
So Labat showing up in a big way
for
the Redbirds, trying to take advantage of that stumble from the Huskies on the beam. Ellery Werner takes the beam for the Huskies, trying to make up a little bit of ground.
Oh, no. Not what the Huskies needed, and of course not what she was expecting either.
And before that fall, Werner looked like she had such nice control.
It looked like it was going in a great direction. Again, very nice leap combo though. We see that very unique switch leap combo. Yeah, she really had all the control going into that. Nice front aerial step out there. Being very confident on the beam minus that fall with that aerial too. Also clean and controlled.
So she's certainly recovering some of those points from the fall.
Totally. Very nice dismount. If it weren't for that fall, that routine would be a very nice score, but unfortunately we're gonna see that fall factor in the score.
And so Madison Kipp, one of the all-rounders for ISU.
First pass here. A front round-off flip-flop to double back. Very explosive and controlled. Getting a very powerful vibe from this music, and I'm digging it. Nice dive roll element. You don't see those too often, so that's always fun when those come on in the mix. Next pass, here we go. Round off flip-flop double pike. A little short on that landing. Nice routine.
So Morgan Hooper will be the last Husky to compete here, and she takes the beam now.
Definitely got to be feeling that anchor pressure on the beam a little more, knowing how close it is and how much this can help the Huskies if she does nail it. Wow. Awesome. Double layout step out series there. Made it look super easy. But it's not, I can assure you. She's having fun out there. You can see the smile on her face. She's not worried about the beam. Very nice leap series there. And here we go on the dismount. Wow, she's got to feel good about that one, for sure.
And after a couple gymnasts struggled on the beam, you see the 8.925 and the 9.150. Morgan Hooper certainly putting NIU back in contention with an incredible run on the beam.
Yep, that's the pickup they needed and what they were looking for sure.
And
that was a fun one to watch.
And now J Mack.
Wow,
the final
very
competitor.
nice. Very nice full in. Awesome first pass to set the tone with and start your routine out. I'm excited to see the next couple passes coming up. Explosive, leap series there. Front round-off flip-flop, double back. Calm, cool, controlled, again, making it look easy. You can tell the floor is her event, and she delivered. Great routine.
And so a strong finish from ISU. And so we're still waiting on a couple more scores to come in. But as we get closer to the end of this one, it would appear like Illinois State was able to hold on to that lead they brought into the fourth.
Right, it does. I'm curious about that one missed floor combo. I'm not sure how that's going to affect them. Given NIU Huskies had a couple falls on the beam, they might be okay. I think they really will be okay in the end, and that won't affect them too much. Yeah, overall, most part, they delivered, and they had fun routines to watch and kept the mistakes to a minimal.
And so coming into the competition, we talked about two athletes at the start, Angelica Labatt and Brooklyn Sears, and certainly neither of them disappointed.
No, they delivered like we thought they would, and yeah, they were riding off of last week, and we saw some very good clean routines from both of them, so that was very fun to see.
And then there were also a couple of surprises that honestly I didn't expect to come in and have the impact that they did. One of the best runs that we saw was the floor from Tara Kaufmel. She had a 9.85 and preceded Elena Anderson, who also put up that 9.85 on the floor for NIU. And both of them really got NIU back into this.
Yes, love when those unexpected performances come up. It's just such a huge mood boost for the whole team, and especially when it's unexpected too.
And so one more exhibition for ISU, but if that score of 194.9 stands for the Redbirds, that'll be their second highest of the season, lower than only their 195.2 at Bowling Green. So is it safe to say that ISU is kind of hitting their stride here in the second half of the season?
Yes, they are definitely, they're getting comfortable. We're coming up towards the later end of the season, so, getting those nerves out in the beginning, of course. And once you hit that high score, like you just said, they came really close to it for a second time. We're going to see them hopefully on a hot streak coming up in their next competitions.
And when you look at who's leading the MIC, right, Lindenwood, and you look at how they've scored so far, ISU is really up there. Lindenwood putting up their high of the season was a 195.475. That was at the Tennessee Collegiate Classic. But other than that, they have put up very similar numbers. And here are the Illinois State floor numbers. And J. Mack with a 9.9. Absolutely incredible performance from her as the anchor for Illinois State and their floor routines. And so just an incredible way for ISU to round out that fourth rotation.
Yeah, much deserved 9.9 there. That was a gorgeous routine, and you can just tell 9.9 worthy through and through. But yeah, they're very close to catching Lindenwood. Like, they can. It's just like we stated earlier on the beam, like those balance checks add up. Their little steps on the vault, clean that up, and you got a top performing team right there.
And so after 4 rotations, we've got awards coming up next. You're watching MIC Gymnastics on ESPN. And welcome back to Redbird Arena, where the Illinois State gymnastics team took down the Northern Illinois Huskies. There you see the final score, 194.9 for the Redbirds, 193.775 for the Huskies. Joey Dwyer and Jordan Solka with you. And quite the evening of gymnastics here from Redbird Arena, as going into the fourth rotation, we had no idea who's coming out on top in this one.
Correct. It was going to be a close one. We knew that, and it really just came down to which team had the least amount of mistakes. You know, it really came down to that, and we got our answer right.
And so ISU taking away the victory. And looking at some of the top performances tonight for both of these squads, one of the most important ones, and what we were talking about over the break, was Jay Mack with her 9-9 on the floor for ISU. She was the anchor for that whole floor event for Illinois State, and man, did she put on a show.
Yeah, that was a crazy routine, and I say crazy in a great way. Really deserving of that 9-9, and came through with that routine in specific.
And then some other incredible scores. All the other top scores for each other event come out to a 9.875. You have Jayshell Hurd on the vault for Illinois State, Sophia Irabaran on bars for Illinois State, and then Brooklyn Sears on the beam for Northern Illinois. And the beam was giving both of these teams a little bit of trouble, but Brooklyn Sears really went in there and made it her own.
Yeah, she was not scared of that beam, and it showed, and I think it was really something the team needed for sure, especially after a couple falls and balance checks. Having that solid routine coming in there and showing off that confidence is exactly what they needed.
And certainly you talked about the balance checks that we saw on the beam, and it really provided some heartbreak for both teams, as when you look at the beam performances, you see a couple falls that really impacted. Madison Kipp for ISU had a beam fall. You see Ellery Werner for NIU, and so just neither team could really get a hold on the beam.
Yeah, as a whole for each team, I think each suffered their own mishaps in that sense. Yeah, but those balance checks, so say both teams suffer no falls, it really comes down to those balance checks if you have no falls. Of course, that wasn't the case here for both NIU and ISU, but it truly added up, and you could tell in those individual scores.
And ISU certainly, going into the floor, knew that they had to perform well, and they did just that. With a 49.025, as now we've got some awards coming down.
And from Illinois State University, Angelica Labat. In second place with a score of a 9.85 from Illinois State University, Madison Kipp. And tonight's vault winner with a score of a 9.875 from Illinois State University, Jayshell Hurd. On the uneven bars, in third place with a score of a 9.8 from Northern Illinois University, Brooklyn Sears. In second place with a score of a 9.825 from Northern Illinois University, Natalie Hemp. And in a two-way tie for first place with a score of a 9.875 from Illinois State University, Angelica Labat. And from Illinois State University, Sophia Irabaran. On to the beam in third place with a score of a 9.7 from Illinois State University, Alana Laster. In second place with a score of a 9.775 from Illinois State University, Angelica Labat. And in a two-way tie for first place with a score of a 9.875 from Northern Illinois, Morgan Hooper. And from Northern Illinois University, Brooklyn Sears. On the floor exercise. In third place with a score of a 9.825 from Illinois State University, Isabel Fox. In a two-way tie for second place with a score of a 9.85 from Northern Illinois University, Tara Kaufman. And with a 9.85 from Northern Illinois University, Alana Anderson. And tonight's floor exercise winner with a 9.9, freshman from Illinois State University, Jay Mack. second place with a 38.525 from Illinois State University, Madison Kipp. And tonight's all-round winner with a score of a 39.275, Angelica Labat. In the team standings, in second place with a score of a 193.775, Northern Illinois University. And tonight's dual meet winner with a score of a 194.9 is Illinois State University. Congratulations to today's
And so there you
winners.
have it. Illinois State takes the win over NIU, but these teams aren't done. They meet once more on Sunday, and man, that's going to be a fun meet to watch as well.
Yeah, NIU is certainly going to come back tough and mighty for that revenge after this matchup here, and certainly not the meet NIU probably came in expecting, but we'll see them back together in action on Sunday.
And like you said, NIU not getting the result they wanted, but they have another chance at home. Coming up on Sunday, Illinois State will try to continue the same result as tonight, but that will conclude our broadcast of MIC Gymnastics here from Redbird Arena. So for our producer Caleb Foster, as well as all of the Redbird Productions crew, I'm Joey Dwyer alongside Jordan Solka saying so long from Normal, Illinois, where the final score is Illinois State 194.9, NIU 193.775. To watch this entire meet on replay, as well as productions on our family of ESPN networks, log on to ESPN.com or download the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.